we write what is the general form of the
Sir,
quadratic
can you
polynomial?
please explain me what are the zeros of the polynomial?
Oh, what are the zeros of the polynomial? Right. Okay. So let's say you have a polynomial, right? Let us quickly talk about polynomial concept. So you have a polynomial, right? And then it would be some function of variable. Let's say if you have a polynomial, and let's say it is a quadratic, or let's say a linear polynomial. Let's say 3x plus 5. This is a polynomial, right? Now, let me write it simply. Right? Let me write it. These are 9, so let me write it as 9. Okay. Now, what are the zeros of the polynomial? So, what should be the value of this x so that this whole thing becomes 0? That is what we call the zeros of the polynomial, right? So, what do we do
Yes,
is
sir.
that we put it equal to 0. We put this equal to 0 because at that value of x, this polynomial will become 0. So we put it equal to 0 and then we find the solution of this thing. So this would be 0. So 3x equals to minus 9. So x equals to minus 3. So if I put x equal to minus 3 in this polynomial, right, I have this polynomial. And if I want to calculate what is the value of polynomial at x equal to what is the value I have got, minus 3. So then this would be 0, right? 3 into minus 3 plus 9. So minus 9 plus 9. So this is 0. So that is what we call the polynomial, the zeros of the polynomial. The value of x for which the polynomial becomes 0, right? There are two interpretation of it. So one way to interpret is the graphical interpretation. So in graph, let's say this is your x, this is your px, y, and let's say this is how the polynomial is behaving. This is px, right? So in graph, we have 2 points, 2 coordinate points. One is x, the other one is y, right? This is how we write the coordinates of a point. So at this point, the coordinate of this point would be some x1, comma 0. At this point, the coordinate would be some x2 and y part is 0. At this point also, x3 comma 0 and x4 comma 0. So what do you see? That polynomial value is 0 at these 4 points, right? So at x1, x2, x3 and x4, polynomial is 0. So that is why these points are the zeros of the polynomial. So this curve will have 4 zeros. Right? Did you understand this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how we define the zero. And then in quadratic polynomial, we have at most 2 zeros. So the zeros are alpha and beta. And we already know that the sum of the zeros is minus b by a because the general form of the quadratic polynomial. So general form of the quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. This is the quadratic polynomial. And what is the quadratic equation? So equation is this. Right. This is the equation. This is the polynomial. If we equate it to 0, so this polynomial becomes equation. So due to this polynomial, we have the sum of the zeros minus b by a, product of the zeros is c by a. So this is the most important thing that we have to remember. And there is also zeros form of the quadratic polynomial, right? And how do we write the quadratic polynomial in zeros form? Do you remember? How do we write the quadratic polynomial in terms of zeros? In terms of alpha, beta, how do we write the quadratic polynomial?
Um,
So
We take the values of A, B, and C.
So we write like this. Right? This is the zeros form. So if we have sum of the zeros known, if we have product of the zeros known, then we can write the polynomial. This is how we write the polynomial, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are the only things that we have to remember in polynomial, degree, and all those things. So now, keeping these things in mind, let us solve all these questions, right? So these things will become clear if we solve all these. So the first question, right? The first question says that the value of p for which -4, this is the value of x, is a zero of the polynomial. So if in this polynomial I put x equals to -4, so this polynomial should be what? Yeah, what is the definition of the zeros of the polynomial?
We will take -4 as alpha.
Yeah, forget about alpha. So zeros, for zeros, px is what? At zeros, at x equals to zeros value, but that is the thing that we have just talked about. What becomes of px?
Can we take x square is equals to 1? No, x square is equals to A, which will become 1, and then B will become -2. Then C will become -7p plus 3.
Yeah. What is the definition of zeros of the polynomial? Is zeros of the polynomial. So for zeros of the polynomial, px becomes 0. That is the definition of zeros of the polynomial, right?
Yeah.
So px is what? Px is x squared minus 2x minus 7p plus 3. And if I put x equals to -4, then this px would be how much? This would be 0. That is the definition of the zeros, right?
Yes.
So if I put x in place of x, I put -4. So this would be -4 square. This is -2 and -4. And then -7p, and let us write it separate. -3. P equals to 0. That is the thing, right? That is the thing that is given. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is 16 and this is plus 8, because minus minus becomes positive. This is -7p minus 3 equals to 0. So all the other thing, let's take 7p the other side. So this is 24 minus 3, that is 21 equals to 7. So p equals to 21 by 7, that is 3. So this would be the option. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please note it down.
Sir, so basically, if we want to find the zeros of the polynomial, then we have to equate the whole equation to 0.
Yeah. So in this question, they have already given you that -4 is the zero. So if you put -4 in place of x, you will get 0. That is the example that we have just seen, right? So
Yes,
we
sir.
saw that if I put x equals to -3, if I put x equals to -3, then this p minus 3 becomes 0. So that is the definition of the zeros, right? At
Yes,
that
sir.
value, px becomes 0. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please, yeah, please note it down. Let's check this.
Sir, I have noted.
Oh, you have noted it down, right? So let us try the next question. Okay, so if one of the zeros of polynomial is the reciprocal of the other, then what is the value of k? Right. So what do you understand in this question? Yeah. What do you understand in this question? If one of the zeros of the polynomial, this is a quadratic polynomial, so there would be two zeros, right?
Yes,
And
yes, sir.
is the reciprocal of the other, then what is the value of k? Stand by this question. Let's suppose that this is the important thing, right? That one zero is the reciprocal of the other. Forget about this one, right? So if I take 10 as
Oh,
an alpha, what would be the other zero?
beta.
If this is given, information is given, right? That would be beta, but beta is related with alpha, right?
Yes, sir.
So reciprocal of alpha, what is reciprocal of alpha?
1 by alpha.
So these are the two zeros, right? So one is alpha, the other one is the reciprocal of alpha. That is what it is given, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in this one, what are the information we know about this polynomial? About this polynomial, what are the informations that we know? Yeah. So, what are the information about this polynomial? This text. Give.
This
Yes.
we have to find the value of k. So we have one term 3x square plus 8x.
Yeah. So, about the polynomial, we know what you have learned. Just remember that you know what is sum of
Sum
the
of
zeros.
yes,
Yeah.
sum of the
And
zeros and the product of zero.
yeah, so sum of the zeros, that would be -8 by 3. Product of the zeros, that would be k by 3.
C by s.
So this information is not needed, right? Let us use this information.
Yes.
So alpha into beta. What is alpha? Alpha is alpha. Beta is 1 by alpha. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And this is equal to k by 3. So alpha will cancel. This will go the other side. So k will become 3. So this is the value of k. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, please note it down, then we'll do the next. Yeah, whenever you have noted, please.
Notice.
Okay, so now let us do the next question. And please tell me whenever you have any doubt, right? So if you have any
Okay.
kinds of doubt, please tell. Okay, if the square of difference of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial, right? So what we can assume firstly that there are two zeros, right? So let's suppose the zeros are alpha and beta. So these are the zeros that you have. If the square of the difference of the zeros, right? So first we
Yes.
have to square of the difference. So we have to take in this question what they have said that first we have to take the difference. So what would be the difference between these two? What is the difference?
Alpha minus beta whole square.
Yeah. So alpha minus beta and then square. This is 144. Right.
144.
So
Yes.
we can write alpha minus beta as root of 144. Right. So alpha minus beta would be how much? That be plus minus one. Right.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Now,
I don't understand what is that plus and minus.
yeah. So if you have, let's say, root of 4, right?
Yes.
Then 2 into 2 is also 4, right? So we have this pair minus 2 and minus 2. That is also 4. So this is also the
Yes.
perfect square of minus 2 and minus 2. So root 4 can be plus 2 and root 4 can be minus 2. So simply we write it in one term, we write it plus minus 2. So this is 2, these are two values, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so alpha minus beta is plus minus 12. And what else do we have? So we also have alpha plus beta. And what is that? What is alpha plus beta? Can you tell me? Yeah, what is alpha plus
Sir,
beta?
alpha plus beta is equals to minus b by a.
And in here, your polynomial is this one, right? Polynomial is x square plus px plus 45. So from this perspective, what is alpha plus beta? Minus b by a. So minus p by 1. Minus p. Right. Alpha plus beta is minus p, right?
Yes, sir.
What is alpha into beta?
Alpha into beta will be c by a, then it will be 45 by 1, which will be 45.
45. Good. So now we have to somehow, because if we can find out alpha plus beta, then that will give us the value of p, right? So we have to find out alpha plus beta. We have alpha minus beta, we have alpha into beta. So do you remember the relation, identity that I have talked about when I was doing this trigonometry? So I said that we can use this identity that alpha plus beta whole square, that would be alpha minus beta whole square, and plus how much? 4 alpha beta. Do you remember this one?
Um, Sir, I have written like alpha minus beta whole square is equals to alpha into beta square minus 4 into alpha into beta.
Yeah, so you take this thing the other side, so that would be minus 4, right? Yeah, so
Yes.
both are correct, right?
But
Both are correct.
But in this, alpha and beta are multiplying.
Yeah, this is multiply, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so alpha plus beta we want to calculate, right? Alpha minus beta whole square, that they have already told, that 144 plus 4 alpha into beta is 45, right? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
Sir,
then this, yeah, yes,
no, 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 I was
yeah,
asking how that 4 came. So it was in that identity.
yeah, this is in this identity, right? So this is in, okay, 4 into 45 into 2 is 90 and then 180. So this is 180. This is 4, this is 2, and this is 324. So alpha plus beta whole square is 324. So alpha plus beta is root of 324. Again, this will have two values, right? Plus minus 18.
It will be 18.
Plus minus 18, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
we know that this alpha plus beta is minus p. So minus p is plus minus 18. So p would be plus minus 18.
18.
Right? So this would be the answer. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Have you already solved this question? Because you knew this identity already, right? So,
Sir, I have solved, but I was having some doubts in understanding few things.
okay. Yeah. So, yeah, if you don't want to repeat some question, then you can just directly tell me that what are the questions that you want to do, right? So, then we can
Okay.
say. Yeah. So this one you have done already,
Start
right?
with,
Yeah.
yes, sir. So you can start with question number 5.
5. Okay. So, yeah, should I erase this one? Do you want to note it down or? Yeah, should I erase this?
Yes, sir, you can erase. Sir, not question number 5, question number 4.
Question number 4 or 5? 4.
Yes, fourth one.
Okay, so if the zeros of the quadratic polynomial are 2 and 3, right? So you already know the
Yes,
zeros. If you know the zeros already, then you can find out. So in this chapter, we have only the most important thing that we have learned is that sum of the zeros and the product of the zeros. These are the two things that we have learned, right? And in this question, they have given that alpha is 2, beta is minus 3. Correct? Correct. Yes, clear? Yes, hello, can you hear me? Is it clear? Hello, you are muted, Aisha, you are muted.
sir, can you explain once again?
Yeah, so in this chapter, the most important thing that we have learned is that the sum of the zeros and the product of the zeros, right? These are the things that we know, right?
Yes, sir.
They have already given the zeros, that they are 2 and minus 3. So you already know the value of the zeros, right? What is
Yes,
the polynomial that we have? Polynomial is x square plus a plus 1x and then b.
plus B.
This is the polynomial. So alpha plus beta, that would be minus b by a. This is c by a. So alpha plus beta, this would be how much? That would be 2 plus minus 3, right?
Yes, sir.
And then minus b. So minus of a plus 1 divided by a, which is 1. Clear?
Yes,
So this would be 2 minus 3 is minus 1, right? So this is minus 1
yes.
and then minus of a plus 1.
Minus,
So minus minus will
minus
cancel.
A.
And this A, so this is A plus 1. So A is 0. Okay. A is 0. Right. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And you don't have, oh, so there are two options in which A is 0, right? So one can be this one or the this one. So let us use the next one option. Alpha into beta, that would be how much? That would be 2 into minus 3. Right. So this is using the product relation.
Alpha into,
Yeah,
okay.
this relation.
Directly, we have put the values of alpha and
Alpha
beta.
and beta. Yes, yes, absolutely correct. So we have put the value of alpha and beta, right? So this is equal to C, which is B, by A, which is 1. So this is minus 6, which is B. So B is minus 6. So
Minus 6,
this option
minus
is
6
correct.
is 0.
Yeah. So this would be the correct option. Is this one clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all the time we would be using the same thing again and again, right? So that is the most important thing about this part. Please note
Yes,
it down, then we'll do the next question, right? And if you don't
yes,
want
sir.
me to repeat, yeah, please tell me to
Yes,
skip
sir.
some questions.
Um, Once again, sir, let me see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, you can explain question number 7.
Question number 7. 5 and 6 we have already done.
No, this one, like, I knew it how to do, so that's why question number 7.
Just in this question 7. Okay, so if the zeros of the polynomial are double in the value to the zeros of the polynomial, find the value of P and Q, right? So value of P and Q, right? So let's say that if this polynomial case 1, right? Case 1 is that you have 2x squared minus px. There are lots of ways to do this problem, right? But yeah, let's say that this is the polynomial and its zeros are alpha and beta. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So we can find out the alpha plus beta. That would be minus of minus 5 by 2. So this is 5 by 2. And then alpha into beta, this would be minus 3 by 2. Right? Here? Yes.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it? So now we have the second case. In the next case, we have this polynomial, right? What is the polynomial? So the polynomial is x squared plus px plus q. This is the polynomial. And they are saying that the zeros are double the value of this zero, right? So its zeros would be how much? What would be the zeros?
The zeros can be,
If this one has alpha and beta, this one has double. So what would be the zeros?
so, 2 alpha
Then 2 beta,
and
right?
2 beta. Yes, sir.
Absolutely correct. So now we can find out the sum of the zeros. right? Sum of the zeros, that would be 2 alpha plus 2 beta, and this would be minus p by 1, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we can take this 2 common. This is alpha plus beta, and this is minus p. So alpha plus
Yes.
beta we know already, that is 5 by 2, and this is minus p. So 2 cancels and p is minus 5. Right. So this is, which one is the option? Okay, again we have, yeah, so p is minus 5, this option, right? No need to solve the other question because we have already done this part. We can check, we
Sir,
can,
then Q.
q, we have already got because only minus 5 is there, right? We can, yeah, if you want to find out q, so product would be 2 alpha, 2 beta, that would be c by a. So this is 2 into 2, 4 alpha beta, c is q, a is 1. So this is q, 2 by 1. So alpha into beta, that you already know, that is minus 3 by 2. This is q, this is 2. So q is minus 6. Right, this is what they have said.
Yes.
Yeah, but you don't have to solve this one because this is a multiple choice question and you only have to find, you have
Oh,
to,
yes. If we can get like -5, then
yeah,
the other will be the.
yeah, minus 6 because you don't have any other option which says that p is minus 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so then you can just stop at this. In this one, we had two same answers, right? That is why we calculated the other part also. But in this one, we don't
Yes.
have the same answer. So, yeah. Please, is this one
Okay.
clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then please note it down. Yeah, whenever you have completed, please tell me. Yeah, whenever you have
Noted, sir.
okay. So what is the next question? The next one, or do you have any question, a specific question in your mind?
Um. Yes, sir. 12th one.
Yes, eighth one.
No, sir. 12th one.
12th. Okay, so what is the 12th question? Yeah. Okay, so in these set of questions, right? The only known quantities that you have, right? So what is the known quantities that you know in these set of questions? Whenever you have a polynomial, the one thing that you have learned, right, is that you can directly tell what would be alpha plus beta and what would be alpha into beta. So this thing you
Sir,
already,
I don't understand that if we get an equation So we know that alpha plus beta is equal to sum and alpha into beta is equals to product. So how are we going to know that what is alpha and what is beta?
What is alpha and what is beta? Okay, so when they ask you to prove the relationship between the zeros, right? Relationship between the zeros and coefficients. Then you have to find out the solution. And how do you find out the solution? So you have this method which is called middle term splitting. Right. When you will do this
Yes.
quadratic equation chapter, then you will learn that we have another method which is the quadratic formula.
Yes.
But yeah,
In this I have learned that if you multiply a into c, then
yeah,
you get the product. Then you have to split it to get
factorize, yeah,
the middle term.
yeah. So that is the middle transcripting. Yeah, absolutely correct.
So
So
is this middle term in this polynomial middle
yeah,
term splitting?
this middle transcripting is there. So exercise 2.2. That exercise first question. All those first questions are using this middle term splitting method, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, when they want you to prove the relationship between the zeros, yeah, this one, verify the relationship between the zeros and the polynomial. Then you have to use the immediate transfer, right? Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so
And then
yeah,
then when we'll split the middle term, then we can find the zeros.
yeah. Then we can find this when we can factorize this thing. So after
Yes.
factorizing, we will get two factors, right? The factors would be
Yes.
something like this one.
That will become x plus
Yeah.
2 or example.
Yeah. So something like this one. You will get two factors. You take this
Yes.
thing in the right hand side, you get this thing equals to 0. So you get this 0, and then you put this thing equals to 0.
I yes. I solve it separately by equating it with 0. Then we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
alpha and beta.
yeah. So that is the way. Yes, correct, correct.
Okay.
In the 14th question, you have to use that middle terms, right? Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So about this question, right? So we know these two things, right? Minus b by a and c by a. So this is what you have.
Yes.
Now we want to calculate this thing. So every term you have to write it in the form of this. So only these two things you know. And if you have any other thing, then you can't solve that. So every term, every equation, every relation, you have to write it in this form. So let's try the first question. First question is this one, right? Oh, this is alpha into beta. So this is, yeah, how can we write this thing? This we don't need because this value we already know. So we have to write this thing in terms of sum, right?
Yes.
Or you can solve this question by another method also, right? And what is the other method? The other method is that, right? So the other method. Okay, so you see that this is a square plus b square plus ab, right? Is it clear? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is a square plus b square plus ab. I can make it an identity if I do what? In place of AB, if I had other thing, then what should be the other thing so that this becomes an identity?
2ab.
2AB, right? So to make it 2AB, what should I add and what should I subtract? I have to make
Um.
it a 2. So what I do is that I add alpha beta, I subtract alpha beta. Alpha plus beta, alpha minus beta, this becomes 0. So this doesn't change this thing, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
now this will become an identity, right? So now this will become alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta and minus alpha
Yes.
beta. So this thing I already know, that is alpha plus beta whole square
Whole
and
square.
minus alpha. Now I know this value, I know this value. So I can put alpha plus beta, which is minus 3 by 2 whole square, and then alpha into beta
Sir,
is
why did you take alpha? Sorry, minus alpha beta.
minus alpha beta. Oh, so you see that I have added this thing, I have subtracted. So let's say if you have 3x square plus 4x plus 2. And let's say I add 6, I subtract 6. So will this change this equation? 6 minus 6 is 0. So if I add 0 to this thing, so will it change?
It won't say no.
Yeah, so it won't change, but it will simplify this thing, right?
Yes.
So that is why I added this alpha beta and I subtracted this alpha beta. So now if I add this alpha beta, so this alpha beta becomes 2 alpha beta. So this whole thing becomes the identity, and then we have this separate, right? Ultimately, if you solve this thing, right? Let's say if you solve this, so alpha plus beta whole square, that is alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta minus alpha plus beta. So what you will get ultimately? You will get this thing. You will get back this whole thing. What was the question? Right. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is just another way of writing to simplify the question.
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Because the goal is okay. So this is not visible. The goal is to write every term in terms of either this one or either this, because these are the only values that we know, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this would become 9 by 4, and this is plus 3. So this is 12 plus 9, that is 21 by 4. So that is the answer, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Please note it down, and then we will solve all these questions.
Yes, sir. Noted.
Okay, yeah, give me one moment. Yeah, give me one moment. Yeah. So now let us solve the next question. The next question is also, we can do this question in by another method as well, right? But for that, I have to write a square plus b square in terms of a plus b and a minus b. So how can I do that? I have to write a plus b whole square and minus 2a. That is the thing that I have.
Sir, is this second part?
No. So I'm talking about this question. The other method to solve this question, right? So I can
Yes.
write this alpha square plus beta square. I can write alpha square plus beta square in terms of known things, right? So that would be alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. I write this thing, so I have to add alpha plus beta. So then this would be, this part is alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta, and then this part plus alpha beta. So I will get whatever we did in the earlier parts, we will get that, right? So this is the other way to solve this question. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let us talk about the second question. You tell me that what should I do in this question, in the second part, what should I do so that I get alpha beta or alpha plus beta? What should I do?
Sir, I did not understand.
Okay, so you see these two terms. What is common in these two terms? What is common?
Um, alpha and beta.
So I take alpha into beta common. So in here I will have alpha plus in here I will have beta. So now you see that I know all these values. Alpha into beta is -3. Alpha plus beta is -3 by 2. So that is 9 by 2. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, and then let us simultaneously solve this one. Alpha 4 beta square plus alpha square beta 4. What should I take common in this one?
Alpha and beta.
Highest power we should take. So alpha square and beta
Yes,
square,
sir.
right? So if I take this common, then what would be remaining in here?
Alpha square plus beta square.
Absolutely correct. Now you have this relation, which I was talking about. This thing is alpha beta whole square, so that is there. This thing I can write it as alpha plus beta whole square minus of 2 alpha beta. Right?
Yes, sir.
So alpha into beta is -3 square. Alpha plus beta is -3 by 2 whole square minus of 2 and then alpha into beta, which is -3. So this is how much? This is 9 and then this is 9 by 4 plus 6. So that is how much? This is
We will
6,
take
4.
the LCM.
Yeah, so this is
9 plus 24.
yeah, 9 plus 24 by 4. So that is, oh, so this one is the big one. That is 33.
53 by 4.
So the 9 3 is at 27, 9 3 is at 27, and 2, 29 by 4. So this is the answer. Right, please note down these things and then we will do the next step. So, right, so we'll do the fourth and fifth part. Yeah, but before we do that, please note it down. Please note these things.
Okay, sir. Noted, sir.
So now let us try the next question. The next part is, so these are very good questions, right? Please practice them and this will help you a lot in your exam. So this part is, fourth part is alpha squared by beta and then beta squared by alpha. So we can take alpha beta LCM, beta beta cancels, so this is alpha cube. Then this is alpha alpha cancels, so this is beta cube. Now what we can do in this one? What we can do? What is the identity for A cube plus B cube? What is the identity? So
Sir, I forgot the identity.
yeah, so let me just tell you that A cube plus B cube is A plus B and A square minus AB plus B square. And similarly, A cube minus B cube is A minus B and then A square plus AB plus B square. So these are B cube. So we have to use plus. So plus 1 is alpha plus beta and then alpha square plus beta square and minus alpha into beta. divided by alpha into beta. This thing we know, this thing we know, this thing we know. Again, we have to write this thing in terms of alpha plus beta, right? So alpha plus beta, and then this thing is alpha plus beta whole square minus of 2 alpha beta and minus of alpha beta divided by alpha beta. So this thing is how much? Alpha plus beta and then alpha plus beta whole square minus 3 alpha, right? Divided by alpha into beta. Alpha plus beta is minus 3 by 2. And then again minus 3 by 2 whole square minus 3 into minus 3 and then divided by minus 3. So minus minus cancels, 3 and 3 cancels, and half goes down. This is 9 by 4 plus 9. So 9 fours are 36. 36 and 9, 45. So 45 by 4 and by 2. So this 4 goes over here. So 45 by. That is the answer. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And then simultaneously, let us do the last part. Last part is 1 by alpha, 1 by beta, minus 2 alpha beta. So we will not touch this thing because this value we already, this we have to solve. So we'll take the LCM. This is beta plus alpha and minus 2 alpha beta. So alpha plus beta, that is minus 3 by 2 divided by minus 3, minus minus cancels, 3 cancels, minus 2 and minus, so this is 1 by 2 plus this is 6. So this is 12 and 12 plus 1, 13 by 2. So that is answer. Right. Is this part clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please note these things down and then we'll do the next question. Right, how much time do we have? So 15 minutes more we have. So we'll do the next question.
Sir, in this question, alpha and beta are the zeros of this
Yes.
that equation P of x.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Alpha and
can we do it by splitting the middle term and then getting the value of alpha and beta?
yeah, that you can also do, right? But yeah, that you can also do. So yeah, that is the other way to solve that question, right? But let's say if you don't have the solution, if you don't have these
Um,
numbers, right? Let's say 2x
yes,
square plus 3x minus 6 equals to 0. So you can, AC would be 12, right? So you can,
yes,
yeah, that
yes,
would
yes.
be 2 into 6, 4 into 3, or how much? So these are the only things that you have, right? So
Yes, sir.
you can't get 3, right? Okay.
Yes,
You cannot get 3, right?
yes, we can't get.
Yeah. So you can also check b square minus 4ac. How much is b square? B square is 9 minus 4ac. So 4 and 2 and 6. 3, 4. So this is 9 plus 48. So this is 57. So you can't solve this question by
We
immediate
won't
trans.
get it.
Yeah, you won't get the immediate transmitting, right? So that is why we use this, right? Whenever they have written in this form, so you don't write, you don't try to solve, you don't try to get
Just a
alpha.
minute, sir.
Yeah, you don't get alpha in. So you just use this. Okay.
Sir, I don't understand like when to use this alpha plus beta. It will be the sum, right?
Yeah,
Not
alpha plus.
it won't be like alpha is equal to this and beta is equal to this. Alpha plus beta is sum. So
Yeah.
I don't understand when to find a sum and then when to find the um alpha or beta.
Okay, so whenever they give you that sum of the zeros is something like this, right? Then you find sum and product of the zeros. Whenever they say that verify the relation, then in this case, you solve alpha and beta, right? Only in this case. Otherwise, in every other case, you have to use this alpha plus beta, alpha and beta. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear. So, yeah. Did you note down all these portions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the next question that you want me to discuss?
Sir, 13th and 14th.
Let's discuss those. Okay, so yeah, so find the quadratic polynomial whose roots are given. So you know alpha, which is 2 plus root 3 by 5, beta, the values are given, right? And what is the polynomial in the zeros form? What is the polynomial? That is x square plus alpha plus minus alpha plus beta x and then alpha. This is the polynomial, right? Right?
Sir, can you explain this once again?
Yeah. So whenever you want to remember exercise 2.2 and question number 2. So in all of these questions,
Yes,
you will be given sum of the zeros and you will be given product of the zeros, right? So whenever
perfect.
you know
Yes.
these two things, then you can write the polynomial as this one. So this is how we write the polynomial. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we have to just find out the sum of the zeros because whenever you write, you are writing the
So
polynomial.
is this like what we wrote was k into x square minus sx, which is sum of the x and then plus product.
Yeah. So yeah.
Is this
So
the
this is
same thing?
x square minus alpha plus beta and x plus alpha beta. You are saying k multiplied by this thing. Yes.
Alpha plus beta is not. It's not like this. Sx plus p.
Which one? What? X plus p.
No, no, no. Sx was the sum and that value of x, and then p
Yeah.
is the product.
P is the product x square minus kx plus p. Something like this one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so k is the sum. Yes, this is the sum and p is the product. Oh, you are saying sx. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the shorthand. So who told you this form?
Sir, my class teacher.
Yeah, that is. And this S is alpha plus beta, and
So, sir,
P
what
is,
is this used for?
yes.
Is it the same thing which you said before?
Yeah, this is like this one, right? So this is how
Yes, sir.
it is written, right? Your teacher has said this as some, your teacher has named this thing as S and this thing as P. So that is
Yes.
right. So there is no difference between this one and this because S is alpha plus beta, right? If I put S value, then I will get this. So yeah, it is better to remember this, right? No other jargons, word jargons, and other things, right? So it is better to remember this. But yeah, whatever your teacher has told you. Okay, so this is how we write the polynomial, right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now we have to find the sum. What is the sum? Sum which is alpha plus beta. So this would be 2 plus root 3 by 5 and plus 2 minus root 3 by 5, right? So this is same. So this is 2 plus root 3 plus 2 minus root 3. Root 3 cancel. This is 4 by 5. Clear?
Sir, can you scroll up? I can't see.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This was given, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So sum we have calculated. Now we have to calculate the product. Product is what? Alpha into beta. So 2 plus root 3 by 5 and 2 minus root 3 by 5. So this is a plus b, a minus b. So 2 square minus root 3 square. And this is 5 into 5, 25. So what do we have? We have 2 square, that is 9, minus root 3 square is 3. So 9 minus 3 by 25. So this is 9 minus 3, 6 by 20. Right? This is the product. Clear? This is the
Yes,
sum.
sir.
Now, if we have this sum, if we have this product, then we write the polynomial. What is the polynomial? Polynomial is sum into x plus product. So sum we have calculated 4 by 5 and then product is 6 by 2. So that is the polynomial. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is the answer. Please note it down and then we'll do the last. Yeah, please note it. If you have any doubt, please tell.
Yes, sir. Noted.
So you can see the simpler examples, right? Let me show you the simpler examples in your book, NCRT book. So in NCRT book, you have this polynomial chapter, and then you have this book. Yeah, so in this book, this is 2023. This one is the newer one. So you see in this book the second part. this one, right? So all these questions, the sum and product are given and you have to write the polynomial. So that is the questions that you have. Those are the questions, right?
Sir, these worksheet questions, these are different types of questions. So are these asked in the test?
Yeah, they can be. So they are different. They are tough, right? They are tough as compared to the NCRT one. So you practice NCRT one and then also this one, right? So, yeah. Okay, so now we have to do the 14th one, right?
Yes, sir.
And you have your exam tomorrow. So why didn't you join the class sooner? Because you would have practiced all these questions, right? Again. So you
Sir,
could
I'm
have,
actually only confused in these like sum and product. Like I know the values, but I don't know when to apply this sum or if we have to split the middle term and then we have to find alpha and beta separately.
when they want you to verify the relationship, then you find the zeros. Otherwise, remembering or identifying the sum and product, that would be only the case, right? So that would be enough to solve any question. Otherwise, if you have to verify, then you need to solve all this, right? In the 14th question, for example, in the 14th questions, we have to write, let's say, we have to write this polynomial first, which is 4x squared plus 5 root 2x minus 3. So A is 4, B is 5 root 2, and C is minus 3. We have to solve this thing. First, we have to solve this thing because we have to find out alpha, we have to find out beta. So let us solve this thing. So, yeah, first we will prove the sum of, but to do that, we have to first solve this. So first solve, and then we will prove this. So to solve this thing, we will put px equals to 0, right? So this is 4x squared plus 5 root 2x minus 3 equals to 0. Now for a into c is 12, right? How do we solve? How do we write this 12 so that we get 5 root 2? So this is 2 into 6, right? So I can write this thing as root 2 and root 2. And then I can write this thing as 6, which is 2 into 3. Right. But
Sir, can you
remember,
explain again?
yeah, so I have to have this root 2 in my middle term, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is why one of the factors that I wrote, that is root 2 and 2. So I can write 12 as 2 into 6. I write 2 as root 2 into root because I have root 2 in B, right?
Yes.
Okay, but I am getting, okay, yeah. So then I will, yeah. Okay, because I can have, right, let me just tell you that why did I write 6? Because if I write 2 and 3, so remember in combination I have to have root 2. So one combination I can take 2 root 2, the other one is 3 root, right? Right.
Yes, sir.
If I add these two, I will get 5 root 2, right?
Yes.
But I don't have the multiplication which is minus 12. Multiplication should be minus 12, right?
Yes.
So that is why this is discard. Now I can also have 1 into 6, right? 2 into 6, I can write 2 as root 2 root 2, 6 as 1 into 6. So one would be 6 root 2, the other one would be root, right? So if I take 6 root 2 and minus root 2, so if I add these two, I will get 5 root 2. If I multiply these two, I will get minus 2. So what should be the correct combination?
6 root 2 minus root 2.
Yeah, so this is the correct combination. So if I solve this thing, right, this is 4x squared plus 5 root 2x minus 3 equals to 0. So 4x squared plus 6 root 2x minus root 2x minus 3 equals to 0. So I have to take right root 2x. So this would be 2 root 2 x common, and this is root 2 plus minus, oh, so this is plus 3, right?
Yes, sir.
And if I take minus 1 common, so this is root 2x plus 3. So these two things are common. So I take root 2x plus 3 common, and this is 2 root 2x minus 1. So for one, I put this thing equals to 0. So root 2x plus 3 equals to 0. Or we have 2 root 2x minus 1 equals to 0. This will give me minus 3 by root 2. So I have to rationalize it. So root 2 and root 2. So this is minus 3 root 2 by 2. This is alpha. The other solution is 2 root 2x equals to 1. So x is root 2x. Yeah, so this is 2 root 2x. So 1 by 2 root 2, I rationalize it. So I will get root 2 by 4. These are the two solutions that I got. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So now I have got alpha and beta. So alpha is minus 3 root 2 by 2.
And
Beta
beta
is
root 2.
2 by 4. So if I solve, I have to prove alpha plus beta is minus b by a. So let us take LHS. LHS is alpha plus beta, which is minus 3 root 2 by 2 and plus root 2 by 4. So this would be LCM would be 4. This is 2 into 2, 4, right? So 2 would be there. So this is minus 6 root 2 and plus root 2. So this is minus 5 root 2 by 4. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now what is minus b by a? So b is how much? B is
B is
5 root 2, right?
up plus 5 root 2.
Yeah, b is 5 root 2 and a is 4. So this would be minus 5 root 2 by 4, which is equal to, this is RHS, right? So this is equal to LHS. Hence,
Yes.
similarly, we have to prove the second
We will
relation,
find the
product. Yeah.
product
So
also.
LHS is how much? Alpha into beta, that is minus 3 root 2 by 2 and then root 2 by 4. So this root 2 will cancel this 2. So this is minus 3 by 4. And C by 8, which is the RHS. So C is how much? C is minus 3 and that is 4. So minus 3 by 4, which is LHS. So M0. Right. So this is how we prove the relationship between zeros and coefficients. Right. This is the question. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please note it down and then yeah, if you
And sir,
want
you can show the last part.
last part, this part,
Yes, yes. Second part.
this one, yeah, this one you have already noted.
Yes, sir. we done, sir?
Okay, so do you want me to also discuss the last question? Yeah,
Yes, sir, you can.
if in the question they ask you to find the zeros, then you have to solve for x. So yeah, whenever you have to find the zeros or you have to find the verify the relationship, then you have to find you have to solve this by middle term splitting, right? Otherwise, you don't need to solve. So you practice all the different questions, then you will get the idea that when we have to use uh, only the relationship or when we have to solve the actual. Okay, so what is this question? Yeah, if the polynomial is this, you have the polynomial which is this, and you have to find the zeros, right? So how do you find the zero? You put it equal to 0. So you have to solve this thing by middle term split. So 8, we have to factorize 8. So that is 2 into 4. So what would be that? This is plus 2, this would be minus 4. So these are the two combinations, right? So x square plus 2x minus 4x minus 8 equal to 0, right?
Yes, sir.
So this would be equal to 0. So we have x plus 2 and minus 4 x plus 1. So x plus 2 and x minus 4 equal to 0. So x plus 2 equal to 0 or x minus 4 equal to 0. X is minus 2, x is 4. Right. Can this x be minus 2? Yeah. One day she noticed that to fill the positive that the shape of the path of the parabola and that it can also be quadratic terms easily based on its here. Okay, so yeah, then you have this question, right? And then they are asking that second part is that find the value of alpha by beta, right? So alpha beta inverse plus beta alpha inverse. So I can write it as alpha by beta plus beta by alpha, right? So this is alpha into beta and beta beta cancels. So alpha square plus beta square. You can write the values of alpha and beta, right? Or you can use this identity. Alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta divided by alpha into beta. So we know that alpha plus beta is how much? Alpha plus beta is
Minus 2
yeah.
and 4.
Yeah, so alpha plus beta, and alpha into beta is minus. These are the two things that happen. Right. So I can use this thing. So 2 square minus 2 into minus 8 divided by minus 8. So this is how much? This is 4 plus 16 divided by minus 8. So this is 20 divided by minus 8. So 4 twos are 4 fives. So minus 5 by 2. That is the answer, right? And then if the product of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial is 4. Yeah, if the product of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial is 4, then find the value of A. Yeah, this one is a simple question, right?
Yes.
Because product of the zeros, this is 4. And from this polynomial, what is the product? Minus 6 by 8. Right.
Yes, sir.
So then this would be, this will go here. So minus 6 by 4 is A. So 2 twos are 2 threes are. So A is minus 3. Right. Then the last question, find the quadratic polynomial whose 1, 0 is minus 3 and product is, and the product of the zeros is 0. Right. So how we can write the find a quadratic polynomial whose 1, 0 is -3 and product of the 0 is 0. So alpha into beta is 0 and alpha plus beta, this you have to find out. You know that whose 1, 0 is -3. So alpha is -3, right? This is -3. So yeah, so product of the zeros is this one. So x square minus. Okay, so let us put this value. Alpha into beta is 0. One value is -3. So alpha is -3, beta is 0. So this -3 will go the other side, so beta would be 0. Clear? Is it clear? Yeah, did you understand this part? Yeah, you are muted, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm rushing. Sorry, I am rushing a lot because we have only this question, right? So they have given that product of the zeros is 0. Product of the zeros is 0. One of the 0 is -3. So let's say alpha is -3. So we can find out beta, which is 0. So then we can write the polynomial, which is x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha into beta. Alpha into beta is 0, and this would be -3 plus 0 into x. This is 0. So this is x square plus 3x. This is the polynomial. Okay. Yeah, please note down all these things, right? So we started from here, and then this is the next part, and then if you have any doubt in these questions, please do. So this is first part. This is the second part. This is the third part. This is the fourth.
Sir, can you show the last part?
Last part. Okay. So this. In the last part, product was given, and one of the zeros was given. So we found out the other 0, and then we put it in this zeros form.
Sir, there is no last question.
Last question, you have only 15 questions, right?
No, but this is not from this worksheet.
Yes.
Uh, that question is not from the worksheet.
15th one.
No, not 15. There is some other question which is not from this worksheet.
Oh, yeah. So please tell me about that question.
The
Want to
question
discuss?
is,
Yeah.
find zeros of quadratic polynomial 3x square minus 2 and verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficient.
Yeah. So this one, you have a polynomial which is 3x square minus 2, right? And we want to find out the zeros of this polynomial. So zeros of this polynomial, to find out, we will put px equals to 0 to find the solution.
Verify a relationship between zeros and coefficient.
Yeah. So first we have to find out what is alpha and what is beta. Whenever you have to verify, right? We have to also write in this polynomial what is a. A is 3. What is b?
B can be 0.
Yeah. Because we can write this px as 3x square plus 0x minus 2. Right?
Yes, sir.
So b is 0. Now, if we solve it, if we put px equals to 0, so 3x square minus 2 equals to 0. I don't have to split the middle term because there is no middle term. So I will just put x square
Yes.
equals to 2. So x square is 2 by 3. So x would be root of 2 by 2. So this will have two solutions, plus minus root 2 by 2. So alpha is plus root 2 by 3 and beta is minus root 2 by 3. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So if I want to prove that sum of the zeros, alpha plus beta is minus b by e. LHS is alpha plus beta. So this is plus root 2 by 3 minus root 2 by 2. So this will cancel this with this. RHS is minus b by a, which is minus 0 by a, whatever a is, 3. So this will 0, which is the LHS. Right? So this verifies
Yes,
this
sir.
relation. Product is how much? Product is C by A. So LHS is alpha beta, which is plus and minus. So this would be minus 2 by 3. Similarly, what is RHS? RHS is C by A. C is minus 2, A is 3. So minus 2 by 3, which is 8. So hence proof.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So any other doubt that you have?
Sir, what is that after minus 2 root 3 in last line?
This one,
RS. No, last line. Yes.
LHS equals to LHS,
So
right?
before
This
that,
one.